Adam's story begins on a distant planet, a magical world known as Eternia, where myth and reality blend together. At its heart lies Castle Grayskull, a place of immense, ancient power. Power that could forge a god, bound within the legendary Sword of Power, waiting for a true hero to rise. Kept safe on a magical pedestal, guarded deep within the ancient fortress, protected by a royal lineage. Young Prince Adam feels different. He feels small and unprepared. Still, he must attend arms training, under the harsh gaze of Man-At-Arms, who demands absolute strength and courage, lecturing them on the reality of war, preparing the youth for future conflicts. He expects nothing but glorious combat, but Adam struggles to meet expectations, while his friend Teela naturally excels. Soon, trainees are paired for combat. Adam faces off against skilled Teela. The fight quickly turns against him. She effortlessly disarms and defeats him. King Rander watches in sheer disappointment. He heavily doubts his son's potential. Man-At-Arms promises to train him well, but the king remains unconvinced. To test him, Rander throws a sword, ordering his son to defend himself. Unexpectedly, Adam is knocked to the ground, proving he is unfit for battle. Teela tries to offer some comfort, yet the public humiliation stings deeply. He feels he will never be enough, overshadowed by his father's legacy. Man-At-Arms tells him to walk it off. Adam looks out over the peaceful city, wondering what his true purpose is. Teela finds him, trying to encourage him. Just then, a light pierces the sky. Castle Grayskull is violently breached. Enemy forces rain fire upon the city. The royal guard scrambles to defend. Dark, terrifying creatures flood the halls. A brutal battle erupts instantly, but the guards are quickly overwhelmed. Man-At-Arms fights to hold them back, promising to get the family to safety. The situation grows increasingly desperate. The enemy forces seem endless. They push deeper into the sanctuary. Man-At-Arms realizes they are outmatched. He orders a hasty tactical retreat, guiding the king through corridors. But the relentless enemy pursues them. A fierce villain blocks their path. Man-At-Arms engages him in a duel, trading heavy blows in the hallway. The villain mocks the royal defenders. Man-At-Arms fights with everything he has, buying precious time for others to flee. He strikes down his opponent, but more enemies are closing in. He is quickly ambushed and overpowered. The enemy forces finally defeat him, leaving the royal family vulnerable. Teela tries to wake the fallen warrior, but he is too injured to move. The castle's defenses have fallen. Teela watches in utter horror. King Rander stands alone against the horde. Suddenly, a dark explosion shatters the hall, revealing the true evil mastermind. Lord Skeletor emerges from the smoke, claiming the throne of Eternia. He commands his forces to seize Rander. Rander tries to protect his son, but he is swiftly subdued. Skeletor disarms the king with a laugh, taunting him as he holds him captive, promising a swift end to his reign. Skeletor removes the symbol of power, placing the crown upon his own skull. Evil Link congratulates him on his victory. Skeletor declares a new era, reveling in his terrifying triumph. Meanwhile, the sorceress leads Adam to safety, guiding him to the hidden sword. She tells him Grayskull will fall, and he must take the sword away. Adam reluctantly grasps the weapon. The sorceress opens a dimensional portal, urging him to escape immediately. But Skeletor bursts into the chamber. The sorceress sacrifices herself to delay him, giving Adam the chance to jump inside. He is pulled through the chaotic void, traveling far across the distant galaxies. He crashes into a lake on Earth. Adult Adam is on a date. He explains his bizarre past. Mentioning Skeletor makes him sound completely insane. His date quickly leaves in discomfort. Adam returns home, feeling isolated. His roommate thinks he's just being weird, telling him to stop sharing his delusions. Adam insists that his story is real. His roommate told him to be normal, to get a job and blend in. Adam retreats to his room in frustration. He pulls out a box labeled Eternia. Inside are drawings of his past life, reminders of the world he left behind, the memories of his true friends, proof that his childhood wasn't a fantasy. He looks at his family drawing, remembering the hero he should have become. Next day, he wakes up reluctantly, driving his car to a mundane office, listening to empty corporate buzzwords. The trainer tells them to be best. They stand to recite a meaningless mantra. We highly recommend experiencing this in theaters. Adam feels completely trapped in his mundane life. His co-workers talk about meaningless office drama. Later, he struggles at the local gym. An older man offers some unsolicited advice. He tells Adam to find his inner strength. But Adam lacks the drive to push harder. He simply nods, ignoring the helpful words. The veteran lifter finally gives up and leaves. Back at work, he browses fantasy swords online. His manager suddenly approaches with a fake smile. She cheerfully asks for a quick private chat. They step into her office to talk. Her friendly demeanor immediately vanishes. She criticizes his terrible work ethic. His obsession with swords is ruining his career. He listens blankly to her final warning. Suddenly, a text notification lights up his phone. Someone has finally located his prized sword. His boss demands his full, undivided attention. A co-worker peeks nervously through the blinds. She waits for him to explain himself. He completely ignores her and grabs his phone. The rare sword costs $300. He immediately rushes out onto the busy street. He desperately calls the mysterious sword seller. He arrives outside a weird collectible shop. He peeks eagerly through the front window. Inside, he scans the aisles for the seller. He excitedly questions a confused random customer, but the stranger knows absolutely nothing. He wanders deeper into the crowded store. He gets distracted by rare vintage toys. He interrogates the grumpy store owner next. Then he spots the sword on a statue. He realizes it was a massive misunderstanding. The owner refuses to sell the prop weapon. Adam approaches the life-sized barbarian anyway. He forcefully tries to pry the sword loose. An employee rushes over to stop him immediately. He wrestles the heavy statue to the floor. Onlookers start filming the bizarre struggle. He finally breaks the blade free. He dramatically holds it aloft victoriously. The nerds watch in stunned silence. He marvels at his newly acquired prize. He flees the store and jumps onto a car. Speeding away, he causes chaos on the street. Later, his roommate is relaxing with snacks. Adam retreats alone into his small room. He sits on his bed admiring the sword. He looks at old childhood drawings of his father. Exhausted, he lies down holding the weapon. The police have finally arrested him. He sits handcuffed in the cruiser. Traffic suddenly comes to a complete halt. Panicked civilians run past the police car. Adam watches the nightmare unfold outside. He scrambles away from the shattered window. He desperately searches for his stolen sword. A terrifying beast causes total panic everywhere. He gets thrown over a concrete barrier. He prepares to fight the monstrous creature, but he quickly realizes he is outmatched. A warrior woman suddenly drops into the fight. She stands fearlessly before the hulking monster. She looks down at the terrified Adam. Reluctantly, she offers him a hand up, but the beast recovers and attacks her again. He quickly drags her out of harm's way. The monster prowls, searching for its prey. They hide breathlessly behind a parked truck. She explains the sword's true cosmic nature. His foolish actions brought the monster here. They both peek over the concrete barrier. He clumsily trips while trying to escape. The beast roars and charges right at them. They sprint desperately through the busy city. They finally arrive at her cloaked spaceship. She commands the ship's ramp to lower. Curious onlookers gather around the alien vessel. They hurry up the ramp to get inside. The monster arrives just as they take off. Teela initiates the emergency hyperspace jump sequence. They blast into a swirling cosmic wormhole. Adam realizes she is his childhood friend. She confirms his identity as the Lost Prince. He cannot believe the crazy stories were true. She tells him their home world is in ruins. He listens intently as she explains everything. They emerge from hyperspace over a dark world. Adam stares at the devastated landscape below. He sees the true extent of Skeletor's evil. The ship descends into a gloomy cavern. Elsewhere, henchmen open a massive vault door. They prepare to awaken their fallen master. A loyal minion carefully uncovers the body. The Dark Lord lies lifeless on a slab. Slowly, he sits up from his eternal slumber. Evil Lyn awaits him in the throne room. He approaches his twisted, serpentine throne. Beastman cowers before his resurrected master. Skeletor angrily demands his ultimate weapon back. Evil Lyn reveals they have located the sword. He declares his intent to rule as a god. Evil Lyn questions his insatiable lust for power. He silences her with a terrifying glare. He refuses to stop until he controls everything. He makes it clear that he will not fail. He demands absolute loyalty from his fearful servants. Evil Lyn realizes the true danger they are in. She watches him with a mix of awe and fear. The hero's ship approaches a hidden rebel base. They disembark into the massive underground cavern. Adam looks around the busy resistance camp. Weapons are being forged for the coming war. He feels completely out of place here. Teela introduces him to the rebel leaders. Duncan is furious that she brought him back. Adam tries to nervously introduce himself to everyone. They stare at him with intense skepticism. He nervously looks up at a massive warrior. He tries to act brave despite his fear, but he is clearly overwhelmed by the situation. Duncan remains unconvinced by this supposed prince. We highly recommend experiencing this in theaters. Adam and Teela discuss their next move. They are surrounded by skeptical warriors. Teela tries to assure them of his identity. The group leads them deeper into the hideout. Adam tries to stay positive despite the tension. He attempts to open a heavy blast door, but it seems firmly locked from the outside. Inside, they find an unconscious man on the floor. A large service bot stands quietly in the corner. Adam curiously inspects the mechanical figure. Meanwhile, the warriors closely examine the magical sword. They are unsure of its true origin. Back in the cell, Adam keeps his distance. Teela quickly enters to warn him. The robot suddenly springs to life. Adam is caught completely off guard. It steps forward with heavy mechanical steps. Teela rushes to check on the injured man. Adam watches as she tries to wake him. She pours water over the stranger's face. Adam hopes the man will regain consciousness. The stranger gasps and finally opens his eyes. He looks around the dark cell in confusion. Adam steps closer to speak with him. Teela listens closely to their exchange. The man seems to recognize the young prince. They realize he is an old ally. Exhausted, the man collapses back onto the floor. Suddenly, an explosion rocks the cavern outside. They realize the hideout is under attack. The group scrambles to escape the collapsing base. They carry the injured man as they flee. Adam is terrified by the sudden chaos. Sparks fly as enemy fire rains down. They sprint across a narrow stone bridge. Teela frantically points toward a way out. The survivors rush into a dark tunnel. The heavy robot helps carry the wounded soldier. They try to keep him moving. Teela knows they are running out of time. Skeletor's soldiers block their path ahead. The cyborg Trapjaw leads the assault. He smirks at the cornered fugitives. Adam bravely steps forward to face him. Trapjaw mocks his foolish courage. A swift strike sends Adam crashing down. He barely avoids falling off the edge. He is completely outmatched by the cyborg. He struggles to get back on his feet. Suddenly, a glowing vision of the sorceress appears. Inspired, Adam tightens his grip on the sword. He raises the blade high above his head. He calls upon the ancient magic. A massive bolt of lightning strikes the sword. Incredible energy surges through his body. The bright light blinds the enemy soldiers. He emerges as the mighty He-Man. His friends watch in absolute awe. Teela cannot believe her eyes. He-Man immediately charges at Trap Jaw. With one hand, he effortlessly throws the cyborg. Trap Jaw goes flying across the platform. He-Man flexes his newfound incredible strength. He easily dispatches the remaining guards. Trap Jaw tries to counterattack with his weapon, but He-Man crushes his weapon instantly. He turns back to make sure his friends are safe. He-Man urges them to get to the ship. But then, Skeletor himself arrives on the scene. The Dark Lord glares at the escaping heroes. He orders his troops to capture them alive. Skeletor points his magical staff in anger, but their ship quickly takes to the sky. Evil Lyn watches them fly away in frustration. The ship speeds through a narrow canyon. A swarm of enemy fighters is hot on their tail. Inside, He-Man prepares for aerial combat. Teela skillfully pilots the evasive maneuvers. They fly dangerously low over a river. Laser blasts graze their ship's hull. Teela tries desperately to shake them off. He-Man jumps onto a hoverbike in the cargo bay. He powers up the engines to help defend them. He shoots out of the ship's rear bay. He weaves through the dense red forest. Several enemy pilots break off to chase him. He sharply dodges the massive tree trunks. Teela continues leading the main pursuit away. He-Man pushes his bike to its absolute limit. He pulls up sharply to gain an advantage. He leaps off his bike midair. The enemy fighters speed past him blindly. From the ship, their life fires back. He lines up a precise shot. He manages to shoot down one pursuer. He shouts in triumph as it explodes. He-Man lands safely on the enemy ship. He draws his sword to sabotage their engines. He plunges the blade deep into the hull. The damaged fighter crashes into the woods. The heroes finally have a moment of peace. Teela sighs with immense relief. Back at the base, Skeletor addresses his men. He is furious about the prisoner's escape. He vows to crush this rising rebellion. He commands them to find the sword. The soldiers tremble before his dark power. He begins chanting a dark, destructive spell. A brave warrior steps up to stop him. Evil Lyn laughs at his foolish attempt. Skeletor easily blasts him away with magic. The brave soldier falls to the ground. Skeletor turns away, disgusted by their weakness. The heroes land their damaged ship. They regroup safely in the quiet forest. The man opens a mysterious old lockbox. He retrieves ancient armor hidden inside. It is a relic from the past. He knows the real battle is just beginning. He-Man stands tall and ready for war. He looks toward the horizon with determination. His journey to save Eternia has started. He turns to Teela, ready to fight. She smiles back, trusting him completely. We highly recommend experiencing this in theaters. Duncan struggles with his dark thoughts. He deeply questions their coming fight. He looks down at his flask. Teela tries to understand his fear, but the old warrior remains silent. Adam approaches him to talk. The young prince offers quiet comfort. They share a heavy, unspoken burden. Duncan finally opens his heart. He warns Adam about the danger. The prince listens with deep respect. Suddenly, they hear a loud crash. Adam takes a deep, nervous breath. Teela spots a fallen spacecraft nearby. She struggles to clear the wreckage. Adam quickly rushes to help her. He easily lifts the heavy metal. They pause to catch their breath. Teela looks at him with relief. She admits her lingering hidden fears. Adam smiles softly to reassure her. Their lifelong bond pulls them closer. He promises to always protect her. They prepare to move out again. Night falls over the alien forest. A massive ghostly figure suddenly appears. Skeletor taunts them from the sky. The Dark Lord demands their surrender. Adam glares back with fiery defiance. He refuses to yield to evil. Duncan knows a trap is waiting. Yet Adam decides to march forward. He will not abandon his family. The monstrous projection slowly fades away. They journey through the thick fog. Adam grips his magic sword tightly. Teela follows closely behind the prince. They carefully approach the enemy base. Adam stops to scan the horizon. They finally reach the desolate wasteland. They enter the dark, silent cave. Danger lurks in every deep shadow. Snake Mountain looms over the heroes. Horrifying demon guards block the gate. Beastman steps forward to challenge. Adam boldly declares his royal name. Evil Lyn prepares a dark magic spell. The villains demand the magic sword. Adam strongly refuses their evil deal. A giant monster roars in anger. Adam steps bravely into the hall. He spots his mortal enemy waiting. Skeletor stands with the captive king. Adam stares at his broken father. King Rander looks up in shame. Adam quickly readies his heavy blade. Skeletor's evil army surrounds the heroes. The grand battle immediately breaks out. Adam slashes fiercely at the guards. He fights with incredible raw power, but the endless enemies swarm him. Chaos tears through the throne room. Adam desperately tries to break free. The enemy commander strikes him hard. He is violently thrown to the ground. The hero screams in sheer agony. He stands back up with fury. An explosion rocks the ancient cavern. Adam swings his sword once more. His rage gives him new strength. A monstrous beast grabs his neck. He struggles against the crushing grip. Adam looks up at the throne. He finally collapses from complete exhaustion. Evil Lyn gloats over his fallen body. Adam realizes he has lost today. Skeletor smiles at his total victory. The villain savors the sweet triumph. A dark spell strikes the room. The throne room is completely ruined. Adam crawls toward the rubble desperately. He reaches his badly injured father. The king weakly speaks to him. Adam begs him to stay alive. King Rander looks at his son. The king offers a final blessing. Adam cries as his father fades. The emotional pain shatters his heart. He holds the king very tightly. Rander speaks his final proud words. Adam whispers a tearful last goodbye. The prince breaks down in tears. The dark guards drag him away. They toss him into a cell. Teela rushes to his battered side. Duncan looks at him with pity. His mother hugs him very closely. They are trapped in absolute despair. Skeletor admires the stolen magic sword. He feels the immense cosmic power. Evil Lyn prepares to claim her prize. The villain stands as a god. Evil Lyn screams as magic backfires violently. The Dark Witch is severely punished. Back in the gloomy cell below, Adam sits in completely silent defeat. Duncan tries to lift his spirits. The old soldier shares a story. He tells Adam to stand tall. Adam slowly absorbs the wise words. He knows the fight isn't over. Duncan assures him they are family. The team will survive this nightmare. Adam finally manages a small smile. Hope begins to spark inside him. He jokes lightly with his mentor. The prince slowly regains his resolve. Suddenly, a giant tiger approaches them. Cringer has come to save them. Adam happily pets his loyal companion. Teela smiles at the beautiful reunion. Adam turns to the other prisoners. He stands up to rally everyone. It is time to fight back. We highly recommend watching in theaters. Adam desperately rallies the defeated prisoners. The weary captives listen to him. He assures Teela they can escape. A glimmer of hope finally returns. Even the toughest fighters are convinced. He details a daring breakout plan. The unlikely team stands united together. Everyone prepares for the imminent battle. They are ready to risk everything. A loud war cry breaks the silence. Adam points toward their only exit. He warns them of the danger ahead. Outside, Snake Mountain looms darkly. The evil Skeletor senses their plot. He gathers his dark magical forces. Back inside, Adam quickly realizes they're trapped. Duncan reveals a hidden explosive device. The robot companion readies its weapons. Duncan prepares to blow the gate. The heavy prison bars suddenly shatter completely. Skeletor's guards turn around in shock. The newly freed heroes charge forward. They aggressively push through the smoke. Adam coughs as the dust settles. Fisto and Duncan lead the fierce assault. An enemy dropship swoops down fast. It hovers menacingly over the battlefield. Teela fires back with her rifle. A massive fiery explosion erupts suddenly. The heroes successfully commandeer the ship. They land right before the fortress gates. Teela questions if they can win this. She smiles at Adam's unwavering confidence. But the danger is far from over. Duncan shares a heartfelt, tearful goodbye. He encourages Adam to stay strong. A giant green tiger joins their ranks. The loyal beast growls fiercely. Teela watches the brave animal prepare. The warriors stand firmly back to back. Teela skillfully strikes down multiple guards. Skeletor confidently approaches his dark throne. He grips his sinister glowing weapon. His skeletal army guards the perimeter. The villain eagerly anticipates the final clash. Adam boldly leaps toward the throne. Teela fiercely confronts the evil witch. The two women engage in brutal combat. Evil Lyn hurls dark magic at her. The heroes fight bravely outside the castle. Duncan barely dodges a lethal blast. Giant statues crumble around the chaos. A massive explosion destroys the stone bridge. Duncan desperately clings to his robot friend. They run from the collapsing structure. Duncan realizes they are entirely surrounded. Trapjaw pilots a deadly fighter ship. He ruthlessly hunts Duncan from above. Duncan manages to board the flying craft. He furiously pins the cyborg pilot down. But the ship plummets toward the ground. The bridge is now completely destroyed. Duncan lies trapped under heavy debris. He peacefully accepts his tragic end. Adam desperately tries to block Skeletor's magic. The magical beam pushes him backward. The villain's power is simply too great. Adam collapses weakly onto the floor. Skeletor maliciously gloats over his fallen enemy. Adam cries out in absolute agony. Suddenly, he wakes up in a gym. Skeletor appears to taunt him here. The villain violently shatters his reality. Adam finds himself on a weird date. The girl stares at him blankly. He realizes none of this is real. Skeletor violently attacks him in the restaurant. Then Adam falls into an office space. Skeletor calmly sips coffee while mocking him. Adam struggles to break this mental illusion. Skeletor violently grabs him by the throat. He mercilessly chokes the young hero. The true sword drops to the ground. Adam is thrown violently across the room. He wakes up in his messy bedroom. His friend looks down in sheer panic. Adam seems completely devoid of life. He slowly regains consciousness on the floor. Magical papers begin swirling wildly around him. A mystical falcon perches on his telescope. Adam listens to the wise bird's words. He is told to reclaim his destiny, but he feels utterly defeated and broken. The bird reveals his inner hidden strength. Adam slowly starts to believe again. He finally utters the ancient magic words. A brilliant light bursts from his chest. The legendary sorceress appears before him. She proudly confirms he is the champion. Adam closes his eyes to accept it. Back in reality, he grips the shard. He pulls it from his glowing chest. The broken sword reforms with immense power. Skeletor steps back in absolute terror. Teela watches the miracle unfold in awe. A massive lightning bolt strikes the castle. Adam magically transforms into the mighty He-Man. He stares down his enemy with fury. Evil Lyn realizes they have already lost. He-Man challenges the Dark Lord directly. Skeletor is completely paralyzed by fear now. The villain desperately tries to act tough. He unleashes a massive wave of magic. He-Man effortlessly deflects the dark blast. He leaps forward with incredible superhuman strength. Skeletor is violently thrown into the wall. The villain tries one last pathetic attack. He-Man simply catches his weak punch. He delivers a crushing final blow. Skeletor is thrown across the ruined room. The evil lord is finally defeated. He-Man stands victorious over his broken enemy. The realm of Eternia is saved forever. This recap doesn't replace the theatrical experience. Go watch this epic movie in theaters. He-Man finally shatters the evil artifact. The Dark Lord's reign ends here. A massive shockwave cleanses the kingdom. But victory leaves our hero exhausted. Thankfully, his loyal friend offers help. Man-At-Arms arrives to check the aftermath. The weary team regroups to heal. Months later, Eternia is fully restored. The Queen oversees a grand celebration. Peace has returned to the realm. Even the robotic warrior joins in. Prince Adam finally finds some peace. His old mentor checks on him. He offers some warm, fatherly advice. Their bond has grown much stronger. The other heroes gather around happily. Everyone shares a well-deserved laugh. Teela playfully teases the young prince. She suggests a fitting new name. He humbly considers his new title. The whole team supports their champion. Another light chimes in with excitement. He animatedly recalls their epic journey. Suddenly, Robot receives a distress signal. A new threat interrupts their peace. Adam doesn't hesitate to take action. His friends know he must go. They proudly watch their hero depart. He rides toward danger once again. The legend of He-Man lives on. Oracle later narrates this amazing tale. He shares the lessons they learned. Go experience this adventure in theaters. A recap cannot replace the magic. The stunning visuals demand a screen. This classic story is beautifully reimagined. Every character brings something truly special. The vibrant world feels incredibly alive. It is a heartfelt, spectacular tribute. You must see this thrilling spectacle. The intense action keeps you hooked. Join the cheering audience very soon. But the story isn't over yet. The leaders discuss lingering, hidden dangers. They know evil rarely sleeps long. Meanwhile, a mysterious new warrior appears. She stands ready to claim her destiny.